I mentioned in previous audios that jealousy comes in many forms. Let me tell you a story about one of those forms. Once upon a time, there was a gentleman who decided to open up an exclusive nightclub. This particular nightclub offered a lot of things that nightclubs in the area didn't offer, and he drew a huge crowd. In a short period of time, he was able to open another location. And when he did, he found himself feeling very stressed because he needed additional help. He couldn't be two places at one time. And even though he did hire people, he felt that he needed to get the family involved because he was a family man. So he had a brother, and even though they were blood brothers, they didn't have the best relationship in the world. But his heart was in the right place because he felt, well, maybe if I get my brother involved in this particular venture, it'll give us a chance to really get close and get to know each other. Make up for lost time, so to speak. So the brother decided to run the other location. Within several months, he noticed that there were a lot of bills that were past due. Police was always showing up at the other location because of incidences where people were having arguments and disagreements. The second location was becoming a bad location. And he couldn't understand why. So when the past due bills came in and he was starting to reconcile his invoices, one day he asked his brother to come in and ask about it. And looking at the way the money was being removed from the account, he noticed that there was a corporation, a company that he wasn't familiar with, where there were checks that were being drawn every single month, and he wasn't sure what it was. And it was coming from the location that his brother ran. So he come to find out his brother was involved with some illegal activity. There were some people that he owed some money to for whatever reason, and he got involved in the club as a way to try to repay what he owed to these people. His life depended on it, but he didn't tell his brother. So he didn't get involved in the club venture to help out his brother or to form a relationship. He got involved in the club venture so he can get his butt out of hot water. His intentions were ill. So brother had a chance to figure out and put two and two together and realize that that wasn't the right thing for him. So he told his brother, he said, I need that money put back. So he had a lawyer draw up a contract, and they came up with a plan where he could pay him the money back over time. The brother refused to sign it. He said, also, I'm going to hire another manager to run that location before I wind up losing everything. So the brother couldn't be in the location anymore. He couldn't run it anymore. And of course, he wound up in hot water with the people he owed money to. Now, I don't know what happened in his situation, but I do recall a conversation that he had when the club owner decided that he was going to have him sign an agreement to get that money paid back. The first thing that his brother did was try to pull rank on him and say, we're blood, we have the same parents. I'm your brother, how could you do this to me? And sometimes we get so involved in family and we want to form a relationship with someone so bad that we'll let them pull that type of rank on us and let common sense go to the wind. The brother said, this is business, and I brought you into my business in hopes that we could be closer together. He says, so for you to ask me how I could do this to you, my brother, how could you do it to me? So needless to say, he signed the paperwork, and he went about his way. They don't speak very well to this very day. The club owner was able to bring back the second location back to its former level, and money is flowing fine. As a matter of fact, he's planning a third location. But the other brother is out. I asked him the other day, I said, when was the last time you talked to him? He said, man, it's been months. I think he's still mad at me because of what happened. I said, did he ever pay back any of the money? He said some of it. He said, but I wasn't going to ask him for all the money in the bank, all the money back. He said, I was just going to get some of the money and I wanted to prove a point. He said, you got to understand, my heart was broken. But he said, I shouldn't have been a sucker. I told him, I said, honey, you loved your brother. and you wanted to get the family involved and possibly make this a family enterprise, and it didn't work out that way. So don't beat up yourself just because you had good intentions and he didn't. You can't control what's in people's minds. I said, but I am thankful for this. At least he didn't bankrupt you, because you could talk to some people who lost their businesses behind family just because they wanted to get them involved. So you don't know what the other person is going through before you let them get involved in your business. I hear some family members say all the time, I sure would like to create a company to get the whole family involved. But see, your version of success and their version of success might be two totally different versions of success. They may not be thinking about money the same way you think about money. You don't know what's going on in their personal life that would drive them to even do what they do. So before you say, I'm going to create a family business, think about who you're going to get involved in the business, if you choose to do so. But press on regardless. Press on. Just saying.